Hey guys, it's me. It's Queen Osset Haru, and thank you for joining me for another wonderful edition of Ask an Aquarius. If you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button and smack the bell. Also, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, pass it on to anybody and everybody that might like it, and leave us a positive comment in the comment section. And don't forget to stick around to the end because I'm going to read a few of my favorite comments from other previous videos. Okay? All right, so today I got asked a very interesting question. There was a meme going around about Aquarius. So you guys know everybody always sends me all the Aquarius memes. I have like hundreds of them. So somebody sent me this meme and it said, an Aquarius can love you to death and never speak to you ever again. So it was an Aquarius that sent it, and she said, this is so like me. Do you think this is like other Aquarius? Do you think this is accurate? Now, my thing is that out of the Aquarius that I personally know, or I know through asking Aquarius, and we've had this conversation, yeah, 100%. Most signs, if they love somebody and it's not that bad, I mean, it's not awful, and some of them will even do it when it is awful. Most signs will not completely cut somebody out of their life. Most signs, if it's awful, they'll do it, but if it's not that awful, they maintain some form of a dysfunctional relationship with a lot of different people. Now, everybody doesn't do this, but I've seen this a lot with the people who I've read cards for. Aquarius, on the other hand, we will not do that. We will love the person. We will love them forever, even. You know, Professor Snape syndrome. Love them beyond death and still never talk to them. Because Aquarius have, remember I told you guys we have this ability to compartmentalize and to shut things off? We have a great knack for shutting off our feelings. And some of the times it's not healthy to shut off your feelings, to repress your feelings. I talk about that a lot. But if you're in a situation with a person where being involved with them is unhealthy for you, then you have to take a step back and look at this a little bit differently. And the Aquarius, in this case, is able to say, you know what? I'm in love with this person, but they're toxic. You know what? I'm in love with this person, but this is hurting me. It's killing me. And I got to stop messing with this person. And Aquarius can very easily cut that shit off and detach. That doesn't mean the Aquarius doesn't feel it forever. Because the ones I'm talking to and asking about it tell me that they are. Years and years later, they still feel it. That's why a lot of people come to me and ask me about Aquarius holding on. Because even though we've cut off the feelings, allowing ourselves to engage with the person and that kind of thing, that doesn't stop love. When you love somebody truly, you generally, in my estimation, will always love them. I've never seen somebody really love somebody and stop loving them. So Aquarius is already aware that this is something that occurs, and that if the person is toxic, incompatible, any of those things, that we are going to have to just love them from afar. And we are the one sign that is extremely capable of that kind of detached situation. Okay, some signs, like I said before, they'll stick in there just to have the love, just to have the interaction. And I got to tell you something about love in itself. A lot of times people come to me and they're putting up with bad behavior. They're putting up with hurt. They're putting up with lies. They're putting up with all kinds of manipulation. I was talking to somebody on Friday, and the person that he loves is just not relationship material. The person that he loves is just a really messed up person. And I said to him, y'all are not happy and you're hurting each other. You need to leave this alone. And he said, but I love her. If I had $1 for every time somebody responded that way, I wouldn't have to work anymore. I would just sit home and sip water and roam or whatever the case is, because I wouldn't have to do anything else. Because every time I talk to somebody about a toxic or a dysfunctional relationship, even abusive relationships, a lot of times the person will say, but I love him, but I love her. And I shake my head because I know where that came from. All of us grew up seeing TV, movies, listening to songs, and even if you don't think it affected you, it did. All of us that fall into this category, we grew up thinking love will conquer all. True love never dies. You know, we had these powerful slogans when I was coming up about love. All the songs about love, you know, R&B and all of the ballads done in the 80s. Lady in Red, Wonderful Tonight. We all had these beliefs in our mind, and I think Wonderful Tonight might have been from the 60s, but you get the point. We all had this, you know, indoctrination that love can conquer all. And love is the most powerful energy on the planet. Don't get that twisted. But the one thing that they forgot to mention, and I'm still pissed about this, is that it's not enough. Love in itself will not sustain a relationship. The couple has to have shared goals. They have to have communication. They have to be healthy enough for a relationship. Bottom line. So when they told us that love could conquer all, they left some things out. They left some practical things out that make it almost impossible for love to just be enough. You people out there right now, I bet you some of you love somebody right now to death that you know you ain't got no business with. Some of y'all right now sitting next to somebody trying to make sure they don't hear this video. You got your headphones on and you're looking over at them trying to make sure they don't hear this video, because you know that person next to you that you love to death is screwed up. And you keep sitting next to them anyway. I've been there. I've been there many times. You guys have heard my Voldemort stories. I loved Voldemort so much. More than I should have. And finally, I came to a point, after dealing with him for 2 years, I came to a point where it was like, look, who do you love more, him or you? You're going to have to choose, because you can't do both. This is going to kill you. This is going to take you to a space where you don't need to be. It's got you at a space where you don't need to be. So you're going to have to decide who you love more and fight for that person. And it was me. It was me. I loved me more, and I fought. And it was painful for me to be, to separate myself from somebody that I loved, the only person I had ever been in love with. It hurt to separate myself from this person, the same way it hurts anybody else that goes through it. But I knew, and this is the part about being Aquarius, I knew I had to. I knew that I had to. I knew I couldn't let this ride. I had to do what I had to do for me. And I would see him here and there throughout the years. Every 2 years, 3 years, I would see him somewhere. We lived in the same city, hung in the same places. So I would see him here and there. And we would talk for a moment sometimes. But I always kept him back, because I always knew those feelings are there, but we're not compatible because you crazy. You crazy, and I'm crazy for messing with you. So once I figured that out, and I figured out that we were not compatible, I figured out that he had mental health issues that I had been ignoring and not addressing. I figured out that I wasn't loving myself enough. Oh, I figured out a lot. I figured out a lot about both of us, and I ain't like none of it. I didn't like none of it. So I had to go through the same exact process. I had to love and care for him from an extreme distance. Every time I thought of him, it's to this day, it's always been like, we've always had ups and downs, positives and negatives. So whenever I think of Voldemort, I just pray. As soon as he comes in my mind, I'm like, dear God, please just take this vibration. I just pray every time. Then there's been other times. I had 2 Libras. I was not in romantic relationships with the Libras, but I loved my Libras. I had 2 of them, both of them at the same time, born on October 4th. And these was my buddies. Of course, things happen, incompatibilities, arguments, deception, betrayal, all kind of dumb stuff that just didn't need to occur. And finally, after going back and forth with them, because I'm a revolving door Aquarius, I'll go back and forth with a person for a while. But once I make that decision that this gotta go, it gotta go. And I still love both of them. I think about them on their birthday. I think about funny things they said to me. And I do the same thing. I say a little prayer for them and I move on with my day. Because I know that even though I care for them, we are not compatible. We can't be in the same vicinity. We can't be in the same, room. We're not compatible energies. So I had to realize that and be like, okay. So yes, this is very true. An Aquarius can love you to death and never speak to you again because they've identified that you are problematic, or they have identified that the 2 of you aren't compatible, or they've identified something that's serious. Not just, oh, I don't like the way he chews his food. They've identified that you're an abuser, or they've identified that the relationship is hazardous for them. They've identified something, and they are going to push you back and love you from a distance. So, yep, that's Aquarius. All right, so let me read out the comments. Okay, so Technic Junglist hit me up and said, I know personally I'm on guard because of past trauma. I never show people my full hand, poker face. Plus, they get very mixed up when I'm angry. I cry when I'm sad. I'm angry that I'm sad. I hear that. Emotions like love can be very fearful for an Aquarius who has had their heart broken. It takes a while to evolve and become self-aware. I had a Voldemort, a Scorpio, and that emotional ghost can pop up at random, but I have to rise above and detach because for a while it will feel fresh. Because for a while when it was still fresh, it was drowning me. And that's exactly what I was just talking about having to detach, having to cut that off. She said it was drowning her. When something is killing you, you have to let it go. I don't care how much you love it. If you love smoking cigarettes, but you know they're going to kill you, you have to let them go. And I don't even think that's really a case of love. Let's talk about real love. Like in her case, she says she loved the Scorpio, but it was drowning her. You can't love something that's killing you. You have to let it go. Thank you so much for writing. Hershey Girl, another one who's received a great deal of hearts from me. She said, great points to keep in mind and make certain to look for in a potential partner, as well as in ourselves, Queen. We need to be mindful to show up as 2 whole people who came together, complement each other, and spark growth. Not 2 halves expecting one another to fill in the missing gaps, or one person to carry the load for both people. Oh God, what a mouthful. That is good. That is really good. So many times people come together unhealthy, unhealed, hurting, broken, crawling, crying, and expecting the other person to fix them and put them back together. And a lot of times they're both expecting it at the same time. So I've always believed that you have to be healed and whole and healthy to really have a functional relationship. So it looks like Hershey Girl agrees with me as well. All right, guys. It's time for me to record another video. So you come back soon because I have a lot more to say. And if you would like to get a reading done, please email me. I got your back. See you later.